All right, guys, it's Rick Ginn, and today we're talking about, I don't know, I'm going to do a culmination of how I got to making eight figures doing real estate. And I'm going to fast forward to the end on how to do it on a 4 hour work week. And honestly, you really need to watch this video, especially if you're struggling with wholesaling, if you're just getting into wholesaling, or you're like, how in the hell does Rick and Zach do it? And I'm going to go a little bit before Zach's time, and then we'll lead it all and tie it all in together. So if you want to talk about wholesaling, this live stream is for you. I only talk about wholesaling because it's just the best vehicle for me. Uh, Full disclosure, you guys don't know me. My name's Rick, and I've been wholesaling 23 years, going on 24 years. I am full on ADHD. It's just, I don't know. I get kind of diagnosed with this. I don't even know. I know what ADHD stands for, but like, honestly, I just don't understand how people make it like an affliction. So if you have any type of like, I wouldn't literally call it focus problem. I believe ADHD people, they choose and pick what they want to focus on. And it's hard to pay attention to things that just like bore you and don't make sense. If wholesaling even sounds exciting for you and you have the condition, I'm going to tell you it's probably the greatest cure you can have. So we'll go through this live stream. I'll tie some of that stuff in together. But if you guys are new to this, I want you to jump over. And first and foremost, I want you to jump over to freewholesaling.com. This is a 100% free course that me and my son created over 5 years ago. Everybody told me, "Oh, you're going to create problems." Yeah, we created a problem. We didn't create a problem for us. We created an actual solution for us because we got tired of everybody trying to get fooled and make wholesaling so complicated with such basic courses for huge figures. If you want to know how to use it, go over there. If you're a self-starter, you can get it going. Everything is there for you, not only to get your first deal, to get your first 5 deals. And the idea is most people don't understand what wholesaling is. They want to try it. They think it's a get rich quick scheme. It is not. So I want you guys to go over there. If you're brand new to this, I don't even care if you're highly experienced. Go through the course, because if you think you know it all, that is your problem. I constantly go through the course. I have to refer back to my own course to listen to some of my advice. So if Rick's going to do it, I know Zach does it. I think you guys should do it too as well. So freewholesaling.com, it's all over there for you. Just jump over there. Number 2, you have the comment section. Do me a favor, introduce yourself. Let's just know where you're from. This is the best place to do it. I have some great people on here that understand how to market within the channel. Why would I do that, Rick, amongst the wholesalers? Number 1, you can find like-minded people. That's our biggest struggle in wholesaling. When I first started out wholesaling, it seemed painful to find people that were going through the same suffering that I was. So now we have all these different types of media, and you guys are watching this on some type of media. So find someone that you can align with, has the same interest. Maybe you're starting out at the same time. Maybe you can create a JV partner. There's just tons and tons. Some people do land, some do single family, some do commercial. It doesn't matter. In fact, my first year, I specialized in working with people that did wholesaling because I didn't know anything. And it had a twofold effect. Number 1, I had to purposely reach out. My goal was to meet with 10 new people every day in wholesaling. Why? Because it kind of got me out of my comfort shell. And number 2, it forced me to learn marketing. Yes, you're going to have to master marketing. We'll talk more about that. Also, I would use these people to get information from them. Now, I didn't always think I had a lot of value to give back to them, but I did. And I grossly underestimated the energy and the passion I had for wholesaling and my willingness to do anything to be successful in exchange for knowledge to work on deals and do joint venture deals. We call them JVs. And that is the second value when you work with other people in the comments. Go over to our free school group. There's over 60,000 people there. I promise you, you can find someone that will work with you, but you are going to have to exchange equal or even higher value. And honestly, it's it. Like, even like, if you're incredible at helping people organize stuff, exchange some organizational tips to teach people how to do to exchange to show you how to do marketing and tips and wholesaling. And then obviously use freewholesaling.com towards your advantage to get there. And the crazy thing is the more people you bring along with you, actually the more successful you'll be. And as much as we all feel like we're on an island in wholesaling, I'm here to tell you, there's plenty of people going through the same thing you are. So why not use the medias just like this? You're on YouTube, Facebook, whatever it is, and find a friend that will help you connect with it. So, and you see all the people introduce themselves. They tell you what market they're in. That's awesome. So the main thing is that we're talking about how on earth can I get this much business done in a 4-hour work week? Well, I'm here to tell you, it didn't start out that way. So let's jump onto this and let's have a discussion on it. So number one, I got to give this disclosure to everybody. Wholesaling is not a get rich quick scheme. And most people come in that fail under that premises. That's why they struggle, because they think they're going to make such fast cash so quick. And anything in life where you make fast cash without having a high skill set means most likely you got lucky or you got ripped off. I've been in business long enough to understand the difference between the two. And any business I've seen built, it's never, no business, at least in the United States that I know of, unless you had inherited it from daddy or mommy or a rich grandpa. And honestly, if you did, you're probably not going to keep it long, because money rewards skill sets. And you have to have skill sets to learn how to grow and foster a business. You can get lucky every now and then, but for the most part, if you can't do it over and over again, you cannot be successful in any type of business, including wholesaling. Excuse me. So it's no difference in this business, and you've got to understand why it goes that way. So I get it. Guys, listen, you're already halfway through December. Everyone's talking about the holidays, Christmas, everything. I want you to understand on this live stream, if you are not focusing towards 2026 right now, you're already behind the game. So you're focusing on going on Amazon, you're buying gifts, you're wrapping them. Listen, I want you to spend time with family. But what if you could use a business like wholesaling to actually leverage your time to spend more time with the people you love the most, hopefully your family, your friends, and to provide opportunities that without your success would not be available to them. The number one reason why people get divorced in the United States is money. So if you know money is the biggest factor, why not just go ahead and tackle that thing up front? It's just the truth. Because when you don't have money, you don't have a lot of options. And that's when you get frustrated and you say things you regret. And if you've ever been there and you're using wholesaling to try to cure it, I want you to hear me carefully in today's live stream, because I was that guy. Got frustrated, didn't have money, didn't understand how to communicate to my wife at the time. And I just thought I had to exchange my time for money. Now, we all know at this point, exchanging your time, we all do what we got to do to pay bills. Trust me, I've had every job known to mankind. I sat in corporate America for 12 years before I truly embraced wholesaling. If I can just save one person on this live stream, I've done my job. So, you know, eventually that trading your time for money is most likely not going to get you financially free. Why? Because the amount of money you make is going to be proportionate directly to the amount of people you help and the size of the problems you solve. They go hand in hand. So if you're going to solve little problems and you just want to get home for dinner and you want to stop at 5, stop the video, get off here, because I cannot help those people. I used to be that person. I always had a desire to do more. I just did not have the guidance, the mentorship, the education on how to do it. And today, what I want to do, if you guys will let me, is I want to show you how this works. And hopefully I can trigger something in your brain, and I'll show you all the way to the end how I leverage my time to make 8 figures on a 4-hour work week. Now, guys, I don't sit around and just like lounge around all day. I promise you, it's very, very dedicated time. And we have to understand, how this works. So let's jump into this. If you have any questions, just throw it in the comments. I love questions. They help everybody else. And if we have time at the end, I will put up a link, and we will do we can do some masterminds. We can talk about what we're going to be doing for 2026. I think that would be actually cool. So remember, wholesaling, it's a marathon, not a sprint. If you just want to run fast and look real good, there's a million gurus that'll be out there They're going to take your money as fast as you gave it. And then you're probably going to come back to me and Zach and go, okay, how do I really do this? And I don't want that to happen to you. That's why we created freewholesaling.com. So make sure you go over there first. So now that we got the basic disclosures out of the way, here's the other one. I showed this last week and I left it up. I'm going to tell you, wholesaling is not for everyone. It's not even close. In fact, if wholesaling was from everyone, I wouldn't have this amazing opportunity in front of me. The reality is everyone's excited about wholesaling. Everybody wants the end result of wholesaling, but there's only a select few that will actually go through and do the work required in it. That's it. I just gave you the secret to a $10,000 wholesaling course. Most of it's up here, but we have to get through it. Yes. Are there mechanics to get through it? Yes. You see, because you all look at my thumbnail title saying, 8 figures, 4 hours a week. And you should say that. The whole purpose of it. And what I want you to understand is that entire time you missed my first 2 years of doing 100-hour weeks nonstop. I was obsessed with wholesaling. Why? Because I had burnt every bridge I had. I have tried everything else. I had 12 years of frustration of just corporate America. Don't even get me started on college, high school. My parents, I love them to death, but they just taught me all wrong. And now we're in 2025, going into 2026. And if you're young, I want you to hear me carefully. If you think working for somebody else and getting a safe job and a good career is going to get you what you truly want at the end of life, which is financial freedom, freedom of time to do what you want, and fulfillment in your life, it's going to be really hard because someone's paying you to deal with their stress. I've never had a job that didn't have stress. I used to be the guy at the skating rink that checked in all the rental skates, and I'd sit there and everybody chuck them on the counter, all wet and nasty. Don't even get me started on the smell in these shoes. And my job was to disinfect them, clean them, and organize them back on the racks. And remember, there's 2 shoes. I got 250 people ice skating. That's 500 pairs of shoes. It sucked. There's no other word. It just sucked. But I was excited to do that job when I first started. And I want everybody to understand is if you can't embrace what I got on the screen right now, go away. Because if you think you're going to start out doing 4 hours a week, that's crazy. You're going to have to spend 4 hours a week just studying one of my marketing sections in freewholesaling.com. End of story. So my first 2 years, I put everything I possibly could in wholesaling. I had no work-life balance, not even close, guys. Work-life balance is this mythical creature that's sold to you guys. It doesn't exist. You want a balanced life? You cannot hit your maximum potential when it comes to business. It's not even close. You're going to have to go all in and do it. So if everybody understands that, I want you. So I feel guilty for the title I gave this video. My 4-hour work week is only from my first 2 years of 100 hours. And you guys think I'm kidding? Ask my wife. And keep in mind, I worked another job while I did it. Why? Because I already burned every bridge I have. I was I had so much debt, I couldn't make it work. And I want you to understand, I had to make this work. I had 2 small children. I just ran out of options and I did everything the wrong way. And if I can just change one person's mind and understanding the crap you guys are programmed with from the day you're born, listen, we all love our parents, but let's be honest. Most of us, for the most part, don't want our parents' financial aptitude because they can't teach you what they don't know. That's why most of us don't understand how business work and money works. We're taught to save. We're not taught to invest. And so we dig this hole. I dug this hole till I was 33. And I go, man, I'll do whatever I got to do to get out of it. And until you guys get that mentality is like, I will do whatever it takes to make this work. You are going to be in a forever perpetual loop of trying to just get by. I am the poster child for just getting by. And I'm telling you, if this guy can dig out of it with ADHD, with terrible SAT scores and a C average in school, it's not about how smart you are in wholesaling. It's about who's actually going to do the work. So some people want to look rich. America's plagued with these people. It's disgusting. Just look at the cars, look at the houses. If you evaluate somebody's worth based on the type of car they drive or the house they're in, you don't understand how assets and liabilities work. And I want to explain it to you today to understand. So if you missed my 100 hours, you're also going to miss my endless, countless failures, contracts that fell through, sellers that backed out, buyers that backed out, title companies that ratted me out because they thought what I was doing is illegal. I got ratted out to the state of Florida. I had to deal with Fannie and Freddie Mae when we were doing short sale flips before there was really rules on them. And all these things is I just didn't know any limits. And I pushed as hard as I possibly could. And I came from an entire life where I tried to get everybody's consent for everything. You're never going to get that in wholesaling. So the reason why I'm telling you this part is I want you to understand that you have to fail to succeed in wholesaling. It's no different than any other business. Here's the honest to God truth. Most of you guys watching this and gals, you're scared to death to fail. And let me just tell you, failure is an illusion in your mind that is predicated right here. Because when you do something and you fail at it, you get a lesson. And that lesson's what gives you the guidance to go forward so you don't have to do it again. Let me give you an example. If you've ever dated somebody and gone through the wild world of dating, when you're young, you date a lot of people just because you're physically attracted to them. Then you find out how crazy they are, or like things you just do not agree with their philosophy. Maybe it's politics, religion. Maybe they're risk adverse. Maybe they're highly risky. Maybe they're not loyal. And then you learn, okay, that's it. I'm only going to go with someone who's loyal to me because that's an important characteristic that I want to drive the rest of my life. Maybe somebody doesn't want to have kids. Maybe they do want to have kids. But you have to go through failed relationships. Listen, I know you got some unicorns out there. Some of you guys hit it in one shot. I didn't. Luckily, I've only been married once. I've been married for 30 plus years. But the reality is I had to kiss a lot of frogs before I found my wife. And I was young. And the thing is, it changes constantly. And some people grow together. Some people grow apart. Some people grow at different speeds. It's okay as long as you're helping the other person. And wholesaling, I'm telling you, some of you people say, Rick, I'm so scared to fail. Just fail. Get over it. God, I test failure all throughout school. I was not scared to get an F on an exam because I didn't understand. I had people, I was so scared I'm going to get a C. I'm like, C, man, I would wish for that. So I'm here to tell you that you have to understanding it. Failure is a part of the process of life. And those of you starting out wholesaling that always say, I'm scared, I'm going to fail, stop it. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to screw up. You're going to lose contracts. It's perfectly normal. It's okay. I promise you, you'll live and you'll get this thing. You'll either get a deal or you'll get a lesson from it. And here's the secret. The lesson is as valuable, if not more valuable than the monetary gain you'd get from a successful deal. There, I said it. You'll find out how to govern yourself and move forward to avoid the previous mistakes you make. So how are you going to move forward in business if you never make a mistake? Well, Rick, I was taught in school, try to avoid mistakes at all costs. Here's the key to mistakes. Just try not to make them twice. That's it. If you can follow it, if you make the same mistake over and over, that's a bad omen for like where you're going in life. And we see people that all the time, like you keep doing the exact same thing. So unless you're a toddler or you're a very, very old person, you have to learn from your mistakes. You should always be learning. Just never, ever stop learning. Most people stop absorbing anything past 23, 24 years of age. And I can tell you right now, I see people all the time, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 95. They're just like that same 16-year-old kid they were in school. They never grew. They never learned. And anything that did not fit their comfort level, they just dismissed immediately. And I promise you, they have nothing but a sea of regrets. They never got financial freedom. And I'm sure they're there for their family, but they sure as heck didn't give their family the most that they could supply them with. It's just the truth, guys. I know it hurts. We're going to talk about it. But you've got to be willing to do something that nobody else around you is willing to do. That's why wholesaling can make so much money. And we have to understand that. So here's my favorite part. You guys miss Rick's suck face. By the way, everybody has them. Do you think Alex Hormozy was really good at presenting and doing marketing when he first did it? He himself admits it was embarrassing and painful. In fact, I saved my first few videos. I should probably be doing a post. I got videos from 20 years ago. I was so scared. There's so much sweat pouring down me. It was embarrassing. But those videos made me who I am today. And without me getting the guts to get up to do those videos, I would have never done it. And I remember my first few comments when they weren't positive, they really hurt my feelings. Now, I had to grow up and I had to get over it because I had a mission I wanted to get. And if I was constantly looking for everyone's consent, I had to remind myself I'm not going to get there. But here's the problem, guys. My entire life, from my parents, my school teachers, my college, and my colleagues, they have programmed me, you need acceptance from everybody. If you take that mindset in business, it will eat you alive. In fact, most of the things I do, other than the people I trust the most that help me make money, they completely disagree with what I do. That's why I know it's right. Let me ask you, do you think I would just ask? It's like asking a stranger off the street, do you think this marketing campaign is going to work? If I give them the credibility without understanding their credentials, I am making piss poor decisions. It's just the truth. And we all have to understand, don't ask a question to someone that doesn't have the credibility that you would like to get to. But we all go to our parents and ask for consent. When it comes to financial decisions, if they're not where you want to be, it doesn't mean you love them any less, but just stop asking for bad advice. If they constantly tell you to get a safe job, get a good career, get the benefits. I went over benefits, I think, the last week or two ago. The average employee will get for $10,000 or $12,000 of benefits. They'll give up their entire career for 30, 40 years. Now, I like benefits, but if you make enough money, you can go buy whatever benefits you want. Imagine being held hostage over $10,000 to $12,000 a year. Oh, but I get benefits. Here's a little hint. Corporate America uses the benefits, particularly healthcare, 401k, sick time, and whatever. They use this as a leverage against everybody. And you guys salivate for it. I was one of them. Don't get me wrong. To get my 2 weeks a year, to get my 401k so they could match it a whopping I got 1% more every year I stayed. After 12 years, they matched me 12%. Ooh. I thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. They even let me use a company car. Guys, these perks were holding me back millions of dollars from me earning my 8 figures, 10 million plus. I was willing to give up everything for benefits. Why? Because I've been programmed my entire life. You can't go without them. You have to have them. Guys, go out, get successful, and then get whatever you want and get the best coverage you can get. Go get your own healthcare. I do. I don't really have a choice, but there comes a time where you can take whatever you want. And I sucked so bad the first year doing wholesaling. For the first year and a half, it was pretty bad, but I just got better. I tried to get better, just a little bit better every day. And I got told I didn't know what I was doing. You're way off on your numbers. You don't know how to market. I know that. I know I suck. So the only way you get better from sucking is doing it over and over with repetition. See, most of you are trying to avoid the suck. And the key to being successful in wholesaling is embracing the suck. Doing something that you're not good at and doing it publicly is painful. This is why most people fail at wholesaling. And if you can just understand that, go, I'm just going to get better. Think about when you first learned to walk. You sucked at it, but you didn't give up. You kept doing it because it was new and exciting. Wholesaling is no different, guys. And I want you to understand that. You see, here's the challenge. Ready? You guys are just looking at my end result 23 years later. Making 8 figures is a culmination of 23 years. And most of it, guys, was sucking the first year and a half. If I didn't go through that suck phase, I could not make this claim. And I'm just telling you, most of you are scared to death of wholesaling because you don't want to look bad. And let me let you in on a little bit of the secret here. Hold on. Let me put this up here before I forget. I'm going to put up, if you guys want to hop on and do a one-on-one, I want to talk to some new people on here. I'm going to put this in the comments. Let's see here. And since I'm done here, we'll go ahead and share that. So, So I put in the comments if you guys want to jump on there. So the thing is, here is the statement. I'm going to go over a key phrase here. And if you understand this, you can make the pivot. I can show you how to make whatever amount of money you desire, but you're going to have to make a change in your life. You want to win the lottery. Honestly, winning the lottery is probably one of the worst things that can happen in your life. You're like, Rick, well, whoa, Rick, wait a minute. Yes, because I know you think you know what to do with the money. All that money is going to do is it's going to give you a short-term dopamine rush, just like your phone does, right? You're going to go out and buy a bunch of crap that you think is going to make you happy. It's not. You're not going to understand what you're buying. It's going to go to crap. It's not going to make you happy anymore. And then at the end, you're probably going to owe so much in taxes. Your family and friends are going to take so much of that money because you're so generous and you don't understand how money works. And you're going to break relationships and you're going to be broke at the end. And then you're going to be even more lost. So I don't wish anyone winning the lottery. Why? Because I always tell people, if you don't have a financial education, understand, if you won the lottery, get the annuity. What do I mean by that? You can get a monthly payout for the rest of your life. It is like an insurance policy. And I don't even think that's a bad decision. Nobody ever takes it. They want the cash settlement less the taxes. And then they're always in the same predicament 2 or 3 years later. Why? Money rewards those that learn it, embrace it, and understand it. And if you don't do that, wholesaling is no different because you're really just finding the money. You're finding the deals. And if you learn how to do it and you embrace the suck and you understand you're going to fail while you do it, you'll be fine. When you want to try to, it's like trying to go through an obstacle course. Like, I don't want to go over there where the squishy frogs are. I don't want to go with the slithering snakes. Honey, you're going through it all. You're not going to die from it. I promise you're not going to get hurt. Your feelings are definitely going to get hurt. Your ego is going to get shattered and you're going to get embarrassed. And all three of those things I just described to you guys, you want to avoid that at all costs. That's what we've been taught our entire life. But what if I tell you by embracing those is how you're going to learn and grow as a person and grow your wholesaling business? It is absolutely no different. And you have to understand that. So after 23 years later, I'm going to put a statement up here. Tell me what you think of it. Are you tired to not disappoint everyone else? Because everybody that comes into wholesaling is you constantly want everybody else's approval of what you're doing. Do you understand that? You ain't going to get it. And when you go out and get it, you're going to be wildly confused. You're going to feel hurt. How can that person think of me like that? And they're going to tell you, I'm just trying to, what do they always say? I'm just trying to protect you. Rick, I'm just trying to protect you. Real estate's a dangerous game. It's not. Real estate's dangerous for people that don't understand it. For those that understand it and master it, it is like going to Vegas and understanding how to count cards legally. There, I said it because it's the honest to God truth. So I love Vegas. I love to go on events and stuff like that. But the reality is I don't get a rush from gambling at Vegas. And that same addiction you get like when people just bet endlessly. There's a reason why casinos let you come in. They're beautiful casinos, do everything because they've got the upper hand on you. And if I have the upper hand in it, I will run $100 million up on bets because the longer you stay, eventually the odds are going to catch up to you. Now, if you go to wholesaling and you learn it, and you get through the suck phase, it's like playing at the finest casino in Vegas with the odds stacked. Now, here's the crazy part is casinos only have like a 51, call it whatever, 51. I'd probably say it's 60 by the time you figure out all the games they play. What if I told you in wholesaling, you can basically make it 90 to 10? Because if you play wholesaling right, you learn the fundamentals of wholesaling. Rick, how do I do that? Go to freewholesaling.com. That's what we do. But you're going to have to go through the time period to learn it correctly. And here's the cool part. You can make money while you do it. Now, people like gambling because they don't have to confront anything. You put your money out and you go on a gut feeling. I'm not a good gambler. To me, I don't really get a rush out of gambling because it's like I gamble legally with real estate with the odds stacked in my favor. So if I can make $1 million gamble, it's a lot more fun than putting down $1,000 on blackjack. Don't get me wrong. I like a little rush from gambling, but like it's entertainment. And a lot of people got a lot of problems with gambling. Hopefully nobody on here has it. So I don't want to trigger anyone. But we have to understand that. So if you're tired of trying not to disappoint everybody else, because that's what happens in wholesaling, you're trying to get all these people consent that, number one, have no idea what it is. Number two, would never, ever take a risk like that and are telling you to play it safe your entire life. So why do you think they're going to give you the approval? I made this huge mistake when I started wholesaling. So you want to know what change I had to do to get into an 8-figure mindset? Now, don't get me wrong. I had to just get in a 6-figure mindset before I started anything. So I'm trying to show you beginning to end, and then we're going to bridge the gap in this conversation, I promise. This is it. So remember, if you get tired of trying not to disappoint everybody, because that's how I started wholesaling. Here's the change I made. Ready? This one singular statement, as profound as it is and simple as it is, it's the difference from me making 5 figures and eventually going on the 10 figures. It didn't happen overnight, guys. I'm not making that claim. I focused on not disappointing myself. Does everybody hear that? I focused on not disappointing myself, Rick Ginn. So what's it take to do that? You have to show up and do things nobody else is willing to do. And then once you do that, I focus on not disappointing myself. Let me fix this here. This stupid timer drives me nuts. Save. Okay. I just focused on not disappointing myself. What the hell does that mean? It's simple, guys. This is what it means. It means that I'm going to do things right now that are probably not going to make people happy around me. Look at all the gurus that are like mad at me and Zach. The reason they're mad at me is because I don't make them happy. I don't care what they think. I don't look at what they say, and I really don't care. They're not bad people. They're probably excellent teachers. I'm just going to do things a different way. This is how the Ginns roll. And because I do it differently, it does make me an outcast, but that's how innovative people make progress. If we all just keep doing what everybody else does, we're in trouble. So here's the challenge with this statement is everything you do, if you're constantly looking to please everybody around you, you're never going to make a decision for yourself. You're going to make a decision for everybody around you. And everybody around you is nice, safe jobs. Just don't take a risk. Why do you think they're going against your grain? Because it's not in their personal interest. And then when you grow and they don't grow, you make them question their own purpose in life. Now, I look at that as a positive, but I'm going to tell you, I've lost most of my friends. I still have my childhood friends that I grew up with, everybody. I have people, I got fishing buddies, I got sports buddies, but I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of my original people I started wholesaling, they left me because I scared the crap out of them. And it makes people uncomfortable when you make a significant amount of money. I don't know why. It doesn't change who I am. I wanted more. And if they and I had times where things got rough, they're like, no, come on back on our team. And the old self said, listen, let me I want to make everybody happy. Let me do that. And for me to make myself happy, I had to make a lot of short-term and long-term sacrifices. I skipped vacations. I didn't buy fancy sports cars. I lived way below my means. I didn't send my kids to like ritzy colleges. Like we're getting ready for my kid's going to X state or my kid's going to UCLA, and great. Awesome. Your kid's going to a university where you're going to pay 60 to 100,000 a year, and you're going to teach your kid the worst lesson in the world. Oh, they're going to go for business. That's great. So you're going to spend 250 to 300,000 to teach your kids how to do business. Awesome. Oh, you're not going to teach them. You're going to let a professor teach them. Oh, a professor that doesn't have a business or has a job. Yeah, good luck with that. That's going to be a nice, cute little placard you can put on the wall. Teach your kid. Now you can teach your kid about a return on investment. And let most kids like either my parents are making me go or they're paying for it. So I might as well get the experience. Now, I'm not opposed to college. I think colleges are so outdated. They make no financial sense at all. I don't even understand it. Now, I put my foot down when my kids came to school. I basically told them, you want to go to school, you're paying for it yourself. That's right. Dad had the money to pay for it, and I said I wasn't going to do it. I was fortunate if my kids were smart enough to get the grants, the scholarships. And actually, Zach was so good at it, he walked out of school with a big fat check because these monies are put into the accounts and you get 1099. You might as well take full advantage of it. They want to give you a 4-year scholarship. Why don't you get through it in 2 years? And then the smart ones figure out how to do it online, because at the end of the day, nobody gives a crap if you physically went to that school or not. Nobody goes, tell me what dorm room you stayed in while you're at the University of Florida or University of Michigan. Most of the time, it's the parents' pride of my kid goes to so-and-so. Once again, you want to look rich. If you want to become rich, you're going to find most of the smartest people that have successful businesses don't give a crap what a college does. In fact, college is the telltale sign that you will conform to society. You will give up a lot of things for a career, a salary, and that sweet spot of benefits. And I want you to understand that by doing that, you have to understand things with that. So if we know that, I like to hire college kids because I know I don't have to pay them a ton of money and they'll pretty much do whatever I tell them to do. And I can own them with the benefits. I said it. It's just, I'm saying it out loud. So you kids go to college, just understanding, we know that college kids conform to a program. They want to play it safe and they want to be off at 5 o'clock to go out and drink and party and do all that stuff. The people that really make money, they skip that phase in their life. Now, I didn't skip that phase. I'm not a hypocrite, but I'm telling you, if I had to do it all over, I focused on not disappointing myself. The second part of that is you're going to have to do things that's going to make you very uncomfortable right now. Not physically. That's a whole nother live stream I could do on that. Remember, life's hard, guys. Think about this. You could go through life. You can never exercise, eat whatever you want, go on every vacation, go to every party your friends drink. I promise you, the price is going to be so expensive. Why? Because you're going to be out of shape. You're not going to be able to spend as much time with your family. You're going to struggle with your kids' sports teams. And then how are you supposed to be your own kid's hero if you can't do it yourself? Business is no different. Listen, guys, I've been broke. It sucks. Trying to figure out how to pay your bills or how to use which credit card to fool this one and that one. It sucks. Looking at your bank account when there's $100 or it's red. You guys know what it means, red. It means you're out of money. I used to have the line of credit on my checking account just to cover my bills. But I still went on vacations. I still went on trips. Why? Because I just wanted to feel good at that moment. And at some point, you have to step back and make a sacrifice. And when you make that sacrifice, you can get whatever you want in life. You see, I was willing to go through the pain. Let me give you an analogy. As I said, you can eat whichever you want, never exercise, but eventually you're going to get so large, you're going to get uncomfortable. You're not going to feel good about yourself. And then if you let it go too far, you're going to looking at expensive surgeries, all sorts of programs. The weight loss is going to be very tough mentally. I know it. I can get a drug for it. It's still going to be hard. Or you can learn how to feed your body correctly, do exercise, go on long walks, maybe go to the gym, whatever it is. They're both hard. The difference is one will make you absolutely miserable. The other one will make you miserable in the short term, but extremely happy in the long term. Wholesaling is no different. You're going to have to be a little bit miserable in the short term. You'll make money while you do it to get that long-term gain. And the reality is most people can't do it. I could not do it for the longest time because nobody taught me how to do it. You have to, number one, believe that you can do it. Number two, you actually have to apply yourself and do it. How do you do it? You got to just get super focused in what you want. And what I want to do is just boil it down for you going forward. Because I say, hey, in a 4-hour work week, I can consistently make 10 figures. It's a lot of money, guys. I did not make it overnight. I own multiple businesses. I make a majority from it in real estate. My long-term wealth from holding and buying assets and letting them appreciate and writing off the depreciation for taxes to offset my income. See, those people say, oh my God, so-and-so didn't pay their taxes. No, they read the rules of how business works. And when you own a lot of assets and you employ a lot of people, you get the maximum deductions, which basically you could take millions of dollars and offset your income and really not paying any tax on it. And once you learn the game of leverage and you learn how to use debt to make more money because you don't get taxed on debt, that's how you scale the game. You learn the basics and the mechanics of it in wholesaling. It is no different than any other business. You see, let me ask you this in the comments, guys. Who here says, do whatever you're most passionate about it and you'll never have to work a day in your life? Who believes that stuff? Like, show me a show of hands and give me an example of what you're doing. But who believes here that you should just pursue your passion as a business? And if you do that, you never have to work one day in your life. Because I've got some feedback for you on that. Ask me how I know this. Do you truly believe that doing something you're so passionate about as a business is going to save you? Meaning it won't even be like work. It'll be so easy. I just wake up every morning and I'll just love doing it. Guys, let me share a little secret on it. It's never about passion. We're all passionate about certain things. I enjoy working out. I enjoy fishing and boating. I'm extremely passionate about it, but I'm here to tell you, I would never do it as a business. Why? How many of you guys do something for your passion? If someone can show me an example, it'd be great. And you turned it into a business. Let's be brutally honest. How passionate are you after 3 or 5 years of doing it? I already know the answer because I've tried this before. And the reality is it gets hard. Let me ask you, if I have a painter and I love to paint, and I paint these pieces at my own whim whenever I have to, and then I decide to turn it into business. And all of a sudden, maybe I got a business partner or maybe I got my own website and now I got 10 orders. I'm like, crap, I don't even do like 10 in 3 months. No, you got to have them done by Friday. And then you get 100 orders and then you got to figure out how to hire other people to help you do it. After a while, it's not passion anymore. It's a business. And you have to understand a business, guys, requires work. And people will tell you your passion. I'm just telling you, you want to ruin your passion? Do it as a business. I have so many friends that do fishing as a passion. I love fishing. But if you want to piss your passion away, do it for a living because business is hard work. It doesn't matter if you're painting, fishing, sculpting, accounting, insurance. You will have to do the same fundamental things over and over again. It is definitely not about your passion. And anyone that tells you follow your passion, you never got to work a day in your life, they're broke. I promise you. It's just the truth, guys. I know it hurts. It's just so true. See, here's the key. You ready? Here's the key with it. It's not about passion. It's about consistently showing up even when you don't feel like it. Now, I was never passionate about wholesaling. I just enjoyed it. It stimulated my mind. I felt like the odds were stacked in my favor and I could make a ton of money with minimizing my risk because I didn't have any money when I started. And that's why most of you gravitate towards shows like this. Let's be brutally honest with it. Now, as I've gone through wholesaling, I've learned how to master marketing. I've learned how to master negotiating. They both took a lot of time. I promise you this, you're going to have to master marketing first, because if you don't get your message out there, you can never even practice negotiating. So the statement on the screen right now, if you can fully absorb it, this is what all businesses are about. It doesn't matter if it's wholesaling, insurance, selling cars, owning a dealership, owning a bed and breakfast. At the end of the day, you have to consistently show up even when you don't want to do it. And that's the hard part. And the reality is, when you start out wholesaling, if you have a day where you got rejected, it doesn't feel good, or none of your calls are connecting, you still have to keep doing it. And a lot of you won't do it. And that's why we have such a high failure rate in wholesaling. People try to wholesale instead of making it a must. And everyone's looking for answers. Now, we can give you instructions, we can give you encouragement, and we can give you a blueprint. All markets are a little bit different. Everyone's capacity is a little bit different. One of the challenges I find right now is a lot of people will ask me, Rick, I tried that, it didn't work. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again until it works. And until you learn to become massively resourceful in wholesaling, you're always going to struggle. I don't care if you're like a personal one-on-one coaching student or you're in freewholesaling.com. The people that make it find ways to get through it no matter what. Why will some person go, Rick, I struggle so bad getting probates, I just can't do it. Can you show me how to do it? So let me get this straight. You want me to come in your county, which I've never been in, and show you how to pull the probates? Okay, I'll do it. But I promise you, after that 45 minutes, I already know what your problem is. You're just not willing to go through anything. If you think that's a struggle, that's one of the most basic skill sets you can learn in wholesaling. You have to learn the skill set of becoming resourceful. Not everyone's going to give you the answer and show you exactly how to do it. So if your goal is get the probate list, you have to find a way to get it. Some are easier than others. But if you're always looking for the easy button and you're not willing to go through struggle and roadblocks and no's, I don't care. Dude, you could have Grant Cardone. You could have anybody teach you wholesaling. It's not going to work because you don't work. And if you're not willing to go through hell to get there, you're not going to make it. I tried this. It didn't work. What do I do? Really? Show me the 5 other things you tried other than that. No, it didn't work. I just stopped. I froze like a deer. Come on, man. Like, seriously. This is the difference between people who are wildly successful and people who just get by. What is your willingness to get through something? Now, I fully on have ADHD. When I have a computer problem, and keep in mind, I own a software company. When I went through the same frustrations you guys did learning the software. And then I committed every day to learn one new task. And sometimes I'd sit there at the screens 4 hours. I would say words I'm not even proud of. And the matter I got at the computer, it didn't make my problem any better. It made it 10 times worse because I got so frustrated. And Zach would come over, I would just hit that key. I go, God damn it, it just took me 4 hours. Now, here's the value in that. My struggle for 4 hours, I will never make that mistake again. And I'm probably not going to ask that question again. But if Zach just came up and showed me how to do everything, I will never learn to struggle. And I constantly have to go into his office and ask him how to get shit done. So your struggle is part of the opportunity of wholesaling. And until you embrace that, you can't move forward. Does everybody understand that? Consistently show up. Now, the next thing, you have to focus on the outcome. If your goal is to get your first contract, focus on getting that first contract. But you have to be consistent in your activities to arrive at that point. You have to do the activities first. Because if you just fester and focus on the outcome, you got to do activities to get there. And the activities are where you're going to have a lot of the failures and the learning and the suck and the grind of wholesaling. But if I want to be financially independent, I have to focus on where I need to go. And I have to constantly remind myself because I'm going to have to do some hard things to get there. And if I don't like people saying no to me, If I don't like being hung up, if I don't like that I can't get a contract, then you're going to quit. I need to be financially free. I know I'm going to have to do things that are going to make me uncomfortable that most people aren't willing to do. Am I willing? Yes, I'm going to do it. That's my goal. That's my outcome. I focus on the outcome. When I go to work out, I grind through the pain. Now, it's not painful for me. It's just, it hurts. But it gives me such a rush in the long run. I'm willing to go through to do it. See, most people won't just go to the metaphor of just working out, of being physically challenged. And the more you get challenged, the more you push yourself, the more you grow as a person. But most people just want to sit back. They don't want to be uncomfortable. They've never been challenged in their life. I'm not telling you to go out and get in a fight, but let me ask you this. Do you think you'd be better off if you were prepared if the fight ever came to your front doorstep? Because you can only peacock so much. You know what I mean by peacocking? Like, you better back away or you're going to get hurt. Yeah, okay, go ahead and hurt me. At some point, someone's going to call you on your bluff. And if you haven't done the preparation and you have not understood the test of what you can go through, you're probably going to be too scared to find out the outcome. So why don't you just get your failures out of the way, get wildly uncomfortable being rejected, doing things that most people don't even want to do, and get it done. Focus on the outcome because the activities are going to be painful. It's just the truth. Now, here's the next statement. Ready? Business is boring, man. It's by design. Business, doing all the stuff to keep all the money rolling in and keep all your customers happy, it gets monotonous, boring, and redundant. It's designed. What does that mean? It means it's set up for systems, which we're going to go over. Now, here's one thing you got to learn in business, which school has set you up for failure. I apologize. And your parents have probably done as bad of a job. I'm sure there's a few exceptions. If you learn this one, you'll do well. Learn to make quick decisions. Most of you overanalyze. You spend way too much time trying to wait through everything's perfect. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. You are better today than you were yesterday. If you try to wait to meet your potential, you're never going to meet it because your potential should be higher every day. Some people believe potential's here and you eventually get there and you're done. No, potential's not a destination. It's a guide. More people die of their potential than what they actually do. I don't want you to be that person. So you have to make a decision because most people won't make a decision so they don't make the wrong decision. But what they don't understand, by not making a decision, they actually made a decision and they're worse off for it. And they get in this perpetual pattern of never making a decision. Freaking make a decision. If it's a financial decision, weigh your options. That's what we do at freewholesaling.com, right? I say, hey, listen, here's what we need to do. You need to find out what is the impact of that decision you're going to make. And what's the worst case scenario if you make the wrong decision? It's simple. You just move forward and you learn from it. So, we have to make quicker decisions. Most of you just sit on the fence forever. And you think by not making a decision, it makes you an incredible decision. Make a decision. And if it's wrong, you'll learn from it. I'm not telling you make $1 million decision in like 20 minutes, but most of your decisions, if you're broke, are simple. You just don't make decisions and you let everybody else make a decision for you. And that's why you get stuck. And you have to understand that. So guys, this is actually how you learn wholesaling. This is what I'm getting to. If you want to get to making 6, 7, 8 figures, you have to learn the art of wholesaling. And the only way to learn it is by putting yourself out there and exposing yourself to failure, embarrassment, ridicule, rejection, no's, being broke longer for a period. Here's the truth no one will share with you in wholesaling. To start out wholesaling, a lot of times you have to go through 6 to 9 months of pain before you even feel the profit from it. Does everybody understand that? That's why most people take a job because they get paid that day. They know they're getting less, but it's safe. And wholesaling is not safe. If you don't perform and you don't go out and do consistent activities every day, it's 100% a fail ratio. Just the truth, guys. Just the truth. Now, we need to talk about how we need to move forward. So how do I get there, Rick? I know I have to do more than 4 hours a week. That's fine. It's just a tagline, okay? But I told you I did 100-hour weeks. I had no problem with it. Rick, how can you do 100? Dude, there's 24 hours in a day. It's really not that hard. Do the math. You only need 6 to 8 hours to sleep. Throw another hour or two for sleep. Eating meals, taking care of your other business, and then you can easily do it. Most of you just need to focus on getting your first deal. Focus on what's the most important thing to you. And some of you, I want to retire my mom. That's great. If you don't have a deal, let's focus on getting your first deal. Let's stop. And if you say, I don't have time to do it, I promise you, hand me your phone. And if I go through your screen time and see 2 hours on Instagram, I know you're lying to me. And I do this all the time when we go to live events or we do some of our own live events. I don't have time. I don't have time. And I go, hand me your phone. And the amount of sweat that starts pouring down people's face, I go in there and under the settings and let's see your screen time. And you can't fake this stuff, guys. You should definitely be doing it with your kids, but you should be doing an audit on your own self. How much time are you spending on that stuff? I don't have a minute to spare. I got 5 kids I got to feed on. Give me your phone. And then every time by the way, they never give me the phone. Never, because they know the truth. So if you're willing to lie to yourself, I know you're going to lie to me. And if you can't break that cycle, you don't have a shot in wholesaling. It's just the God honest truth. Now, once you get your first deal, what do we do that? We focus on how to get the 5 deals. Why? 5 deals to me is the threshold that you're going to show up every day in wholesaling. Anybody can get lucky and get a deal or 2. Give me 5 wholesaling deals that you get to the finish line. Dude, I can work with those people, man. Why? Because it takes guts. Not everyone does it. I don't have the statistics on how many people make the 5. I know it's not a big number. I know everybody starts. I know what the failure ratio is based on the gurus, 90 to 95%, because most of them just sell you. They show you, the end, like I do in the title. Hey, 4-hour work week, make 8 figures. You ain't starting out like that. I promise you. And so if we know that, if you'll show up and you can commit to getting the first deal, getting the 5 deals, then the business is so much fun. But you want to know why me and Zach focus on the beginner? Because it's the number one problematic area in wholesaling. And a lot of coaches are like, unless you've mastered wholesaling, I can't show you how to do it. It's a cop-out. It only feeds their ego to serve. If I want to sit there and talk, I can talk above people all day. I've been wholesaling over 23 years. It doesn't help out the masses. So if I want to make a little bit of money and charge 30 to 50 grand a person and go get 10 clients, I can make a couple million. To me, it's just not very satisfying because I'm not helping out a lot of people. And honestly, those people are going to make it regardless. Like, here's a little secret. When people pay those kind of coaching dollars, which I pay 6 figures all the time, they're going to make it with or without you. They'll find somebody else. So I don't see the value as high. Trust me, it's fulfilling when people figure out how to scale. I get more enjoyment taking someone that's never made a dime. And then they repeatedly, the people that work on my staff, they were all broke and they're all millionaires now. How? Because they had a broken mindset and they decided to make a change and they just fast forward. Now I'm showing them things that just like, this is almost like they feel like they're cheating, but they've already paid the price. And if you will just take that sacrifice and do that, I'm telling you, there's amazing things you can do in there. I'm going to answer questions in a moment, guys. I promise. So once we do that, once you get to the 5, you get the 1 to that 5, whatever you're in your, no matter, write it down, find out where you want to be and just focus on where you want to be for the outcome and commit to do the daily tasks to get there. I'm going to sum up the daily tasks and I go into detail this in my entire free course and show you how to do it. But once you do that, then all you have to do, once you get to that first deal to that 5th deal, then you just have to learn the business of scaling wholesaling, which in my opinion is kind of the easiest part. You're going to go through the same scaredy tactics that made you struggle through deal 1 through 5. Oh my God, that sounds expensive. I don't want to do that. Okay. Well, then sit there and make your 100,000 a year, because you're never going to make any more until you grow out of that mindset. Remember, we have to solve bigger problems and we have to help out more people. How can I do that in wholesaling? It's called scaling. It's simple, but you have to learn it. And in my opinion, scaling is for those, that's when you truly bring on a mentor. Now, I have opportunities into it. Join m2m.com. Everybody, you guys see all the people that I've created in this community, and I practice what I preach. End of story. I've been doing this a long, long time. And I understand the success rates. And until you embrace this, you have to understand. So once you get the deal 1, you get up to 5, you go, Rick, how do I scale? That's your question you have to do in wholesaling, because the scaling will get you to whatever number you want. The question is, how much do you want to scale it? And here's how we start out. Once you do 5 deals, you're pretty much guaranteed to make close to 100 grand. Very close. You will have the skill set to easily make $100,000 to $200,000. That's where a majority of people start out. After that, then you got to get up to 250,000. How do you do it? You just scale your marketing. The easiest part to do it. And 250 is not that hard. It's just a few, it's like 6 or 7 more deals. Then I'm going to show you how to instantly jump to 500,000. I show you how to do it in the exact same year. Oh my God, Rick, this sounds crazy. I swear to you, this is exactly the process I walk everybody through. See, because hiring a coach day 1 and think you're going to make $1 million and you pay them 10 grand because you think you're shortcutting the line is one of the biggest myths in wholesaling I've ever seen out there. Get your deal 1, bust your butt to try to get the deal 5. If you can do that, I could show you the light at the end of the tunnel at whatever number you want to finish up. It doesn't matter. So if we understand, most of you just won't stick in the fight from deal 1 to 5. And you're looking for miracle cures. Here's the secret. It's not in coaching. Instruction's fine. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to go out and contact all these people, and you're going to have to make offers and keep it going. So if we understand that, let's check this out. Then I'm going to take, here's where people really get their mind blown. And 500 grand, guys, is not, I'm not discounting it, but you can get there pretty quickly once you understand the basics of scaling without a huge financial risk. Then the next year or 2, we teach you how to make your first $1 million, 7 figures. All the time I do this, all the time. In fact, I had to have someone lead me to get there. I didn't have them lead me from the day 1 I started wholesaling. That is the biggest ridiculous myth I've ever seen. Now, I'm sure there's programs that will help you out there, but how do I know you're going to do the daily activities like pull your government list? You're going to be relentless on your follow-up and everything. If you don't do that, it doesn't matter who you hire. It doesn't matter if you bring in the greatest real estate person in the world. If you're not going to do the work, you're not going to be successful. So $1 million in wholesaling is always there for anybody who wants it. And that will easily net you $600,000 to $700,000 roughly, depending on the strategy you learn. Now, if you just learn PPL, you're not even going to sniff this number. So if you gross $1 million and you just did PPL because you didn't master marketing and you skipped the fundamentals of wholesaling, you might net 200 grand. That's terrible. You're just making the PPL companies a ton of money. Okay. You've got to master your marketing. So here's the secret, guys. Here's what I've learned. The climb keeps going. The question is, do you? If you truly master entrepreneurship, you never stop. Does everybody understand? You never stop. You just keep going. Grant Cardone taught me this a long time ago, and I actually give him a lot of credit for it. The climb keeps going. Money is just a number in a game. I love when people go, "Oh, I get to $10 million. I'm out." Really? Like, what are you going to do then? The climb is real. And the climb's what motivates me to do what I need to do. The goalpost is always going to move, guys. Let me ask you this. I'm going to make a perfect example. Health versus wealth scenario. Now, be honest with you guys. And everybody who's in this stream right now, let me ask you this. If you said, hey, How healthy do you want to be? What do you think the majority of the answer is? Guys, put it in the comments. How do we think about health? I want the absolute best health in the world. I want to eat perfect. I want to go to the gym. I know we all don't do it, but we all want the highest standard for health. How the hell can that be? Does everybody understand that? Does anybody in here not want to be healthy, or just like, does anyone say like this? I want to, I just want to be moderately healthy. And once I get there, I don't want to go any further. Does anybody going to make that statement right now? You would be out of your mind to make that statement. I just want to be moderately healthy. And once I get there, I'm okay going backwards or just never moving forward. Now, that's the reality. Most people's health is terrible. Let's just be brutally honest with you. We have no idea what we're putting in our mouths anymore. We've stopped being active, and we want to know why all these problems are coming up. We got to get back to, if you don't know where it came from, you should seriously question what's going in your mouth. But I'm here to give you a health seminar. But the reality, guys, is if you look at this, health versus wealth. So if we won't accept that our health, we want the maximum health. Let me ask you this. So why, when it comes to wealth, when someone goes, I just want to make a certain amount of money and then I'm okay. I don't want to be greedy, right? I don't want to be greedy, or that enough is enough. I had this conversation with somebody at a party a couple of weeks ago where they go, Rick, how much is enough? I go, I'll let you know when I get there. You see, it's not about me anymore. It's about everybody I'm bringing along on the journey, my family, my employees, my partners, all the people I teach, everybody that's on this live stream here, anyone who I've ever touched in real estate. It's not about me anymore, guys. I'm fine. I could easily sit back, be greedy, and do nothing and go fishing every day. I need to fish more. I agree. I hear you guys loud and clearly. But the reality is, I want to leave a legacy, because when we're all said and done, the only people that's going to remember you is your direct family. Most of the people that you're trying to impress are never, ever going to show up to you in your funeral and don't give a crap about you. And if we understand that, why we want the maximum health, but when it comes to financial, guy, I just want to get by. That's too much, Rick. That seems a little greedy. We should take the same mentality when it comes to our health and do it with our wealth. And for the select few that can do the health and make that journey to the wealth, God bless you, because that's the journey I'm on. It's not easy. I want to be around for my son, my daughter, and my wife as long as I humanly possibly can. That's why I want to fight and be as healthy as I can. So when it comes to wealth, for me to get there, I'm going to need some more tools than the average person. I get blood tests every quarter. I found out I had mercury poisoning. I had symptoms I wasn't even aware of. I ate too much fish. No common doctor is going to give me that. Guys, our health system's so broken. It's disgusting. I do not depend. I use doctors when I need them, but I'm constantly trying to do stuff proactively, and I have to go seek out the best people, and it costs money. I use wholesaling as a leverage vehicle so I can get the life I want, to provide a legacy for my family. I want to set the bar so high, my son's going to have to jump over the moon 10 times over to even exceed what I did, and his son, and so on. So guys, it's not pressure. It's about making every moment last that we're here on this earth. That's it. So how do we do that? How do we do that? Number one, I do not depend on the United States healthcare system. It's completely broken. I do not depend on the school system, and I definitely don't depend on my parents to become free and get what I want in life. Most of you are doing that. Until you break that, you're going to struggle terribly. And it's just the truth. Now, if we understand that, we have to go and understand how do we break this cycle? Simple. I've already told you, deals 1 through 5 will climb you out of the hole, take a year or two to get you to your first million if you will do the work. You got to stop limiting your beliefs. All the beliefs are other people that put in your head. Either you create your own belief or accept everybody else's belief. Because God knows everybody wants to tell you how to do things. So here's in a nutshell how we do it, because I'm running out of time. I didn't realize how late it got here. Here's how you do it. Here's my 4-hour work week. culmination of 23 years experience. Here's what I focus on. Number one, I market, baby. I market like a freaking madman. Now, I don't have to spend 40, 50 hours a week marketing. I come up with a marketing plan. I have people that help me institute. I write scripts. I do videos. I take the highest and best use of my time doing that. Hour and a half a week. Period. It took me a long time, hundreds of thousands of hours to get to that point. Does everybody understand that? Marketing. This is how you can grow any business to any dollar amount you want. I've never seen a successful business without some sort of master of marketing. End of story. And then I hire people that help me implement it. Why? Because I make plenty of money to do it. Next one. I market to get a lot of deals. I have to figure out how to underwrite deals. How do I figure out how to underwrite deals? Guys, scrolling on the bottom of your screen. I use tools, software like XLeads so I can handle all this. It's already mastered my marketing, period. I can skip trace. I can do comps. I can look up any property. I can find out what their mortgage is. I can get insights on the AI. I can do anything with it. How do I do it? I do it with XLeads. I didn't have these tools when I first started out. Now that I do 8 figures, I have to have tools to help me do it. Then I master underwriting. How much of an offer do I need to make? Once again, I just use XLeads because it's all built into it. So once I do the marketing, I get the deals, I have an ability to underwrite them. I'm very good at it because I've been doing it a super long time. In the beginning, I sucked at it like most of you. Then what do we do after that? Step 3 in my 4-hour work week is I'm going to make offers. Remember, a seller can't take an offer that you don't make. They can't take what you don't make. Some of you are so scared to make an offer, you never do it. There's a contingency on every offer, and I want you to get rejected on that first offer. Oh, Rick, I don't want to know. I'm scared. I like a yes because I get an instant rush. Okay. Good luck. Let me know how all that works out. Plenty of coaching programs out there. I don't want you to go through that. And then after I make all these offers, you're going to have to be insane with follow-ups because 70% of your deals comes through the follow-ups. How do I do follow-ups? I don't know. Maybe you just use XLeads and use the AI automation, use the AI SMS conversations, use the automation in the workflow so you can send out automated emails to actually generate offers. Actually, you can use XLeads to force you to make offers. Now, I like to use XLeads to make offers that got rejected and kind of re-strategize with them. Remember, 70% of your deals are most likely to come through follow-ups. Not everybody's ready to sell a property right off the bat. We have to understand that. And then the final phase to do 8 figures, and you can't do it without it, is you find quality people that helped you get along the ride. The people that actually helped you get deals across the finish line, because they want to be rewarded. And if you can scale up and grow as a team like that, it's endless. So let me repeat what my 4-hour work week looks like, which took me hundreds of thousands of hours to get there. Number 1, I market like a madman. I have systems in place to do all that. Number 2, I underwrite. I underwrite every deal. We figure out what we need to offer because we stack the deck in our favor like Vegas does to you when you walk in their casino. Here's the best part is Vegas on average is what, 51%, call it 55. When we do wholesaling right, we're 85 to 90% stacking the decks against us. Imagine if you could put down a bet and based on the speed the wheel was spinning, maybe roulette, you could take that bet off the table. You can't do that in Vegas. You can do that in wholesaling. It's just the truth. If a deal doesn't work out or there's much worse repairs you thought, you can get out of the deal as long as you do it in a timely manner. Then after that, I'm going to make offers. I'm going to use a system that will systematically help me track my offers, scan my offers, let me send an e-sign and see when they sign it. Yes, you do that all inside of XLeads. And then to me, one of the most valuable things other than marketing is the massive amount of follow-up you have to do. What I used to do is follow up with 80 to 100 people. We're doing 8,000 to 12,000 people a month like that. And those are just the ones we're working with. Our prospects lists are huge, 50 to 100,000. You have to have systems, guys. You're in a world in wholesaling to be successful. You have to have volume. Without volume, you have zero shot, in my opinion. You can't do some of the things I did when I was first successful. But remember, when I started out wholesaling, nobody else was really, not that nobody else was doing it, just nobody was good at it and nobody talked about it. So you had to partner up with people to teach you the business. In the technology age where I'm talking to you right now, it has completely changed. And so now you have the technology advances. You have to use the volume game because your volume will make up for your inexperience and it'll give you more opportunities, more experience, more opportunities. It's going to give you the repetition. And the repetition, although you'll fail in the beginning at it, the repetition is the mother of skills that will teach you wholesaling. Yes, you're going to have to fail to learn this business out. But let me ask you, did you think in my wildest dreams that I would make 8 figures just being connected to wholesaling? I never thought, I never got in this business to make 8 figures. I was fine if I could just make enough money so I can make choices. And guys, it doesn't matter if you want to make 100,000 or 10 million. What I just walked you through, let me just do this again. This is what all businesses do in real estate. They market like crazy. They underwrite. They know what to offer. They actually make the offer. This is part of negotiations, and they follow up like a madman or woman. And if you can do that over and over and add quality people to it, that's what you call the art of running a business. And business, it doesn't matter if it's real estate. It doesn't matter if it's art. It doesn't matter if it's insurance. It doesn't matter if it's a car. Business is redundant and it's boring. It's the people that show up every day and do it 365 days a year that make it work. Some of you guys are so distracted with the holidays and everything going on right now. I'm here to tell you, man, double down and get to work now. You will take the day off to spend with family for Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. I don't care. But for God's sakes, don't take the entire month off because you want to take a break. Guys, listen, I hate the TV. I love it and hate it. I like to watch my sports. I try to stick to recorded events, but for God forbid you turn on that Hallmark channel and everyone's sipping coffee and hot cocoa and rapping and trying to figure out how to save the Christmas parade and reconnect with their hometown. That's fairy tale crap. You're being sold. And I want you to get on the other side of it and join me here. If you have embraced wholesaling and you love it as much as I do, it is a business flow. And it is a business as I use the tool to get the things I want in life. But I'm willing to show up I show up here every Monday night. Why? It's just who I am. If I stopped doing this, it wouldn't change my life. It would change a lot of yours. And I just want to inspire one more person to go, listen, I don't have to conform what's going on because I did that my entire life and it didn't work out for me. And I want you to understand. I'm looking here. So guys, and like this whole thing when people talking about sales and stuff in the comment, I love sales, but the reality of wholesaling, let me sum this one up. This is really cool. Most people think you have to sell like crazy. So let's take an example. Anyone who's ever sold cars or sold solar, I feel for people selling solar. I strongly believe if I don't believe in something, I can't sell it. It's going to be transparent. You're not going to be authentic. And I'm telling you, from a guy who's had extremely advanced solar, like $250,000 in solar on a house I developed and did everything, you ain't getting your money back on it. It's a luxury item. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. Unless you're in a remote situation, but I have to sell the crap out of you. I have to make you believe it is the right choice for you. And then if you want to buy a Lamborghini, I got to let you know it's going to make your ego feel better. When it comes to wholesaling, nobody wants to wholesale. People need to wholesale their house. You want a Lamborghini? It makes you feel better in your ego. It gives you that temporary rush. You want solar? You have to secretly believe you're doing something special in the world, even though all the solar products eventually were going to go to crap. They got to dig them out of the earth and destroy some part of the world. You're not saving the world by doing it. It's just the truth. So the difference between a salesman is a salesman has to sell something you want. A wholesaler basically educates and guides you on something you need. And that's why I believe wholesaling will always have the edge up on all these ridiculous sales stuff that you do. It's just the bottom line, guys. Does everybody understand that? I'm telling you, man, it is the truth. That is the difference. So So a shout out to Big Dog. I don't have time to get to you guys because I actually have a meeting after this, but just keep doing what you're doing. I waited when I had small kids to be successful. So if I could do it while I had a corporate job, I promise you, you can do the same thing. Uh, Somebody asked if you become a realtor. That's a personal question. You don't need a license to become a wholesaler unless it's 100% required in your state and you read the legislation on it. Read it. Stop taking everybody's word for it. So, guys, I hate to do this, but I got to run for you. I'll be on tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern. Hop on there. And guys, you guys ask me questions with X Leads. Get started with the basic. If you don't have money, I don't want you doing it if you're broke. I'm just going to be brutally honest. I don't need your money for that. But remember, it's a tool to help you leverage up in the game. At $97 a month for everything you get, you can't even come close to anything else on the market. But check it out, xleads.com. And as usual, guys, keep wholesaling. If you got value from this, do me a favor. Make sure the best compliment you can do to me is make sure you smash that subscribe button. It means a lot to me. It helps the algorithm, and I can find more people that really want to get the truth in wholesaling. So make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. And guys, I will see you tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern. See you later.